welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is quite literally always the same.
That's me.
Grump, how are you today, my friend?
Wonderful. It's hump day.
Oh, Jesus, that's right. It's hump day. It's on Wednesday. And again, before we jump too much into the action there of news of what's going on, remember, if you like this content, you want to see more, again, we go live every single Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I know we're running late, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but we go live every Wednesday as well as every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To make sure you don't miss out on any of the action, make sure you're there, subscribe on YouTube, like and follow us there on Facebook and Twitter. Grumpy, number one story here. Of the top of the hour. Oh,
actually, I think the biggest number one story is you keep on telling people 8 o'clock and you're never able to get done ready at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Grump. That's one of those things. What can I say? I try to get everything prepped there beforehand. It takes me a little while longer. We'll get better.
Why do you keep selling 8 o'clock? You're never ready. You're late always.
I'm late. What can I say? I'm Mr. Late, Grump.
Well, then you shouldn't say it's going to be 8 o'clock when I'm ready at 8 o'clock.
Stop
people are ready at 8 o'clock.
Semantics. Stop bothering with the semantics, Grump. We'll be here at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Anyway, that being said, Alexander with hey guys, how's everything? I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, we're doing well there, Alexander. Lots of sports news to talk about here today. This morning or late last night, Richard Sherman had a little bit of a kerfluffle issue running there with the law. There's a few things I'll say about it. We've got the recording there. That's kind of being passed along out there on social media. The conversation his wife, Ashley Sherman, had there. And I do kind of feel bad that all that stuff is so public. I mean, it's not even 24 hours later and they release that type of stuff.
So what? You know what? When you're a loudmouth your whole career and then you're on the downside, those things tend to come back and bite you in the butt.
I don't get what you're saying, Grump.
He's not going to get the rope that other guys would get because he's always been a jerk.
So that's why you think that was leaked there less than 24 hours later? I'm just saying.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for him.
Really?
None. No, I do not.
Well, we have not even shown the clip yet. Grumpy Old Man. I don't feel bad for him. Here's the thing. I do feel bad that information was leaked almost immediately. Man, oh man. Why the hell does it need? Again, we'll show it, but it's just odd that type of information comes out immediately now. It didn't used to be like that. I'm not saying there's a huge issue. I'm just saying, like, the privacy, the family purposes, you'd like to go ahead and allow them, a little bit of time there to get over whatever's going on, to collect themselves. And, it means like, hey, not only does Ashley Sherman have to deal with what she dealt with last night, now she's got to go ahead and go out and make a statement there and try to do some damage control and PR control immediately thereafter, because now, hey, not only do we go through this traumatic event, now we've got the media that's going to be swarming our house, swarming around us, trying to get us to comment on this stuff. Whereas if that information and, the context wasn't provided, it allows them to slowly ingratiate themselves to what's going on in the situation.
That's what happens when you're a celebrity. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
If it was, John Smith, it wouldn't matter. But he's a celebrity. He's an NFL player. I mean, that's just the way it is. And that's any celebrity. Any celebrity.
Yeah. And Adrian there with a hey guys, hey TJ and Grumpy Man, what's up? Grumpy, I'll let you hit it.
Yo, Adrian, what's up?
What the hell, Grump? That was awful. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and play here the clip, and we'll just go ahead and listen in.
911, what are you reporting?
I need officers to my house now. My husband is drunk and threatening to kill himself.
Stop. What's the address? Are there any weapons? Stop.
No, there's no gun. I'm saying there are no weapons, ma'am. There are no weapons.
You need to stop interrupting me so I can get the information I need to get officers expedited.
I need officers here now.
What's he doing that you think he's going to harm himself?
He's being aggressive. He has sent text messages. I took the keys out. They're in your car. He's trying to leave now in the house. He's being aggressive. He's wrestling with my uncle. He's threatening to kill himself. He has sent text messages to people saying he's going to hang himself. He's saying that if the police show up, so please don't shoot is what I'm asking.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
He has no weapon.
He says if the police show up,
he said if the police show up, that he'll try to fight them. So they need to understand that He is.
Okay. Has it been physical with anybody there? You said he's trying to fight your uncle?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
How has it been physical?
He just tried to fight him.
Okay, trying to fight somebody and actually being
Yes,
physical
he
is
did.
two
He
different
did, all
things.
the way
How
down to
has
the
it been physical?
He's pulling. It's a 2016 black Mercedes. Richard, please stop. Richard, please stop. Please stop.
Is that a sedan, SUV?
It's just a black sedan Mercedes SUV.
Okay.
He's not going to be able to get out the gate. I cut it off.
What do you mean you cut it off?
I cut the gate. We live behind it. It's Richard Sherman. Like, ma'am, this is like a emergency. I need officers here
listen
now.
to me. I'm handling this. You need to stop telling me that.
Okay, but what I'm
not going to slow help down. Talking to me is not going to slow help down.
Okay, well, what I needed to know is that he.
What's your name?
My name is Ashley Sherman.
Do you know what his date of birth is?
3/30/88.
Okay, slow down so I can understand you. What's the date of birth?
March 30th, 1988.
And that's the clip right there, Grump. Man, oh man, it's hard to listen to.
Okay, it's a police call.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm saying here. I mean, like, number one, I thought the whole dispatcher there could use, again, I don't work the job. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, just like I would there. It's an odd situation, right? You could tell, obviously, the wife is in a situation where she's panicked, and dispatcher was, I think, a little cantankerous, to say the least.
What? Really?
Yes.
She didn't answer any of her questions. You realize she wants to get somebody over to her house. She asked her for the address. She never gives her the address. She just keeps on parroting the same line.
Why? Hold on. Why after she got that out did the dispatcher not say, "What's the address?" Boom.
She did ask for the address.
As soon as she says it a second time, "Hey, we've got the address. We're on the way sending them out." As we're sending these individuals out, what's going on?
I don't care. I don't care. It means it's a police call. You know what? I'm going to bet there's a lot more, way worse than that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the woman just should have answered the questions that she was being asked. I mean, I realize, I don't know. I mean, I feel for the woman, but if you need somebody to come and help you, just answer the questions that are asked.
I'm just saying, and you're in a situation like that, you've got your adrenaline pumping, because I guarantee you hers is, and you got a whole bunch of things going on. It's a little bit tougher than you think, Grump. I'll tell you this too. Yikes. Richard Sherman needs some mental help. And here's another thing, right?
Man, that's a real leap, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. You're making judgments. We haven't even heard from him. You hear one frazzled wife on a 911 call, and you're saying that Richard Sherman needs mental health.
Okay, here's the thing. If true, let me phrase that, Grumpy. If true, and if you're talking about hanging and killing yourself, I don't care if you're drunk. You need some help. You need some mental help, right? Here it is. He's a free agent right now.
Well, guess what? He's not getting a job at all. Period.
Yeah,
he's done. He's done the NFL. Done.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. I wonder if that had to play a little bit. They said he drank a fifth of vodka there and a fifth of Hennessy. Ooh, a lot of alcohol to be going in the system, my friends. That's like a handle. Oh my God, I tell you, everybody reacts differently under alcohol, but man, oh man, it's something else.
I mean, again, you're just making a lot of assumptions based off of a 2-minute 911 call. We don't, She said in the report when they spoke to the police officers, he drank a fifth of vodka and a fifth of Hennessy. That's what she said. All we can go of us based off of what she said. She might be completely wrong. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But that's the way it is today, right? Let's rush to judgment instead of actually finding out what happened. I mean, there was a hit and run thing supposedly. There's a domestic violence thing. I want to wait to hear from Richard Sherman. That's what I want to hear. Or the police. They are investigating certain things. I mean, I didn't gather much from the 911 call. It just sounded like a frazzled wife and a dispatcher trying to get information That's all it sounded like to me. I didn't get anything of the situation. All I know is, from a sporting point of view, Richard Sherman, what's he, 32, 33 years old? He's not getting another job after this.
He's 33 years old. And here's the thing, right? I wonder if his, prolonged unrestricted free agency said like, hey, I'm far from signing from anybody. You wonder if that has it. Because again, at every point of time in somebody's career, their fun in the sun is over. Richard Sherman just coming off of a time period where he was elite caliber corner. And even last half, he was still extremely talented there for the 49ers, even that last year, for even his advanced age. Okay, 2 years ago, he was an excellent corner. 2 years ago.
No, absolutely not. Their whole defense was fantastic 2 years ago. Really, really good. Okay. He was just a sidecar. His career, he's never been the same since he left Seattle. He hasn't been the same. Just not the same player. Just isn't. And there's no crime in that. I mean, he was never a speed demon. He was a guy who got by on great technique, and he had enough quicks and his size. But, I mean, once you start losing that physical advantage that you have, it's not like he was Darryl Green, who could play till he was almost 40 years old just because he had blazing speed. That was never Richard Sherman. And he was a great cornerback in his day, but he's nowhere close to that. He's nowhere close to that anymore.
Alexander also saying Richard Sherman is done, guys. There's no way he gets off. He already had a problem finding a team. Yeah, his career's over. I think the same exact thing. I think Richard Sherman's career is over. And here's the thing. If what he said is true, when you're talking about killing yourself, talking about trying to fight, you're not in a good state of mind. You're not. When you're trying to find somebody to fight. Again, alcohol obviously has a play in that. But I've drank before. I've never been in a situation where I'm like, let me kill myself. I know some people do, and people that do that do need help. That's all I'm saying.
But that's not him saying that. That's a third party saying that's what he said. We don't know the context. And I'm not putting down what she's.
I'm not putting. How many times I got to tell you that? If true.
Okay, but you're just saying it. Well, this, that, and the other thing. Well, we don't know, because now we would have heard him say that on the 911 call. Much more believable, because honestly, his wife was frazzled. Totally understandable, by the way. But you kind of really don't know exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I like this comment here from Eli. The dispatcher was in a bad mood because Lou Lamoriello keeps trading away first-round picks.
Yeah, well, get ready. She's going to be even more pissed off when they sign Zach Parise.
Go! We'll save that for Saturday. We'll save it for Saturday. Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm getting ready to get pissed off.
Alexander says the NFL doesn't give two craps about the players. Well, this needs to change. It should be the last straw. Here's the thing. I think they do need to take more care of these players and individuals because, man, oh, man, the NFL makes hand over fist. And you look at, the amenities and benefits these players get after they retire, and when the fun of the sun's done, or even during their playing career, it's not adequate in my opinion.
Alexander is spot on. The NFL could give two craps about the players, that's for certain. But that's business anywhere, though. I mean, if you think about it, once you're gone, that's it, and that's any job you work is going to be like that. I don't think they need to take care of the players after. Honestly, I mean, they have a nice pension, that they get paid, the CTE thing and, other injuries. They've been fighting that for years and years and years, but it's awful tough to get money out of rich people. And I mean, look at how far they go to fight, obviously, CTE and stuff like that. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. They're not going to do anything unless absolutely forced to. They're not going to change. I mean, and there's a lot worse things in the Richard Sherman situation. A lot worse things have happened.
Yeah, well, in the NFL for certain. Absolutely. The crazy thing about it is last year, do you remember Tyreek Hill had that video or the audio surface when he was talking about how he beat his kid and used to play got him tough or something like that. And he broke his rib or something. He broke his kid's rib by punching him, playing boxing with him. His arm. I can't remember. Honestly, it was a while ago, but I remember it painted him in a very negative light, and it was all Tyreek Hill speaking. And you're like, oh, wow, that might be damning. I don't think he missed a game. Didn't even miss a game. Not even a preseason game. Well, didn't even miss a regular season game. None of the games that mattered. You're just kind of thinking to yourself, I'm like, oh, it's crazy, right? If you've got talent, you bring in the green. I mean, you pretty much get away with anything you want.
Well,
it's a situation where Richard Sherman, again, if he was at the top of his game, you wouldn't hear too much about this. But now, kind of, he's fading star on the way out. I guess I think is the last straw.
Faded star. He's done. You're right, but Tyreek Hill, right? Look at Ray Rice, the treatment he got, right? They had the video of him with his girlfriend. I don't think it was a wife at the time. I think it was his girlfriend.
Fiance.
And if he was initially, they tried to sweep it under the rug till the video came out, and then they couldn't because the NFL is good at subterfuge. They don't want anybody to know anything because if we really knew what was going on, maybe the people would look at the sport just a tad differently. But he was a faded star, and that was it for him, right? Yeah. Tyreek Hill, he's still a big-time performer. So that just, okay, no problem. I mean, what he said was damning. I mean, coming out of his mouth, what he said was damning, and then trying to get the girlfriend to take back the claims because, that's going to cost us money. I mean, they know what they're doing. They're adults. They're all adults. They know, hey, all right, I screwed up, but if you say something, that means that the golden goose is cooked. So she backtracks on what she says. I mean, it is what it is, but the NFL could care less. All they care about is how they look. That's all they care about, what their perception is.
Yeah. Keeping as many good players in the league by trying to keep somewhat of a good perception from what's known from the individuals. There's a lot that goes on, I'm sure, that we have no idea about there. Alexander will say, never thought Sherman was a great corner. Revis exploited him in the video a couple of years ago with his own coverage, made him good. Yeah, I do kind of briefly remember that. Eli also said there, NFL will hide the story no matter what actually happens. Just like what happened there with Deshaun Watson. Nowadays, people barely remember the whole scandal.
There you go. He's a big star, right? Now, and like I said, I don't know what's happened with Deshaun Watson. I say, with all that smoke, there's probably some fire, but who knows, right? But you know what? Like I said, in the 24-hour news cycle that we live in, if you just keep your mouth shut and you're smart, it goes away after a while. Commenting on if Sherman was a great corner, I think he was a great corner in that Seattle system. He was never as good as Darrelle Revis. But he was really, really good for a lot of years in that Seattle system. It was a perfect match of his skill set, and to the system. And they had a whole bunch of other really great defensive players. That Legion of Boom defense was really good.
Yeah.
Until they were dismantled by Tom Brady in Super Bowl 49. Thank you.
Christ. Thank you, Jesus. I don't know where we'd be without another Tom Brady nonsense. You know what I just noticed too, Grump? I wore a black shirt for Pete Alonso. It's a little Pete Alonso shirt here because he won the home run derby. And I just realized you wear black every freaking time we're on this podcast. And hey, Grump, every single time you like that shirt too. The Clash, your Clash black t-shirt. I'll tell you one thing. I got to
wear black. Is Johnny Cash. This is Johnny Cash. It's not the Clash.
Oh, Johnny
Cash, and he's known as the Man in Black.
Okay. There's way too much black going on the screen. We got to color coordinate a little better. Alexander also said, "Oh, Grump. Started with Parise blasting. I knew he was going to have a field day as soon as I saw the rumor mills flowing in."
But I will say that until Saturday. But see, I was provoked by Eli. He provoked me.
Eli provoked you.
He provoked me.
Alexander also saying the NFL protects their stars. For certain they do. Yep. Pete Alonso, greatest power hitter. He's definitely a great power hitter. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's made more money in those home run hitting contests than he earns in a year.
Home run derby? Yeah. So he's done that the last 2 years, and he's donated it to Wounded Warriors and someplace else. And
good for him.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't know that he was donating the money. I thought he took it.
Yeah, Grumpy. He's taken it. He's gone ahead and won it the last 2 years, and he's donated both of them. And again, he makes league minimum. Funny you think Pete Alonso still makes a league minimum. Think about how little MLB players are getting paid during their production years. I mean, Pete Alonso, man, oh man, league minimum. Like those type of things always baffle me. Always do, because he's not a spring chicken. It's not like the guy's 21 years old or 22 years old. Pete Alonso, how old? Pete Alonso, 24, 25?
Yeah, he's getting up there. Aaron Judge, the same thing, right? Same thing. But that's just the way it is, right? When the teams hold the hammer, they're going to use it.
Pete Alonso is 26 years old.
Yeah. So, by the time he's getting ready to – and Aaron Judge is the same thing. By the time they get ready to cash in, are they as good? Well, then you're paying based on past performance. So, we'll see. I mean, I don't begrudge anybody making money as long as they can, honestly.
Yeah, I'm always shocked that he gets paid so little. He's been in the league for 3 years and he's 26 years old. And again, the guy has really performed in the 3 years he's been there, and just thinking league minimum. Anyway, moving right along there, grumpy old man. Also, I mean, you talk about here, there was some Real Madrid news, grumpy old man.
Yeah, I'm a big Real Madrid fan, so yeah.
Some news there from the president, Florentino Perez, grumpy. Some comments made, and he just kind of
he made those comments in 2006.
Okay, there's new comments. There's new comments, Grump. There's new comments that's coming out. We'll talk about those. But beforehand, I want to talk about Leo Messi's new contract. Man, oh man, you want to talk about a guy who's got a pay cut coming his way. He signed a new 5-year contract. He took a 50% pay cut. Holy crap, Grumpy. Now, instead of him, he was originally earning $500,000 a week. He's now going to be making $250,000 a week. I think I can make that work, making $250,000 a week. But I cannot believe he took such a substantial pay cut. I know the original contract he signed with Barcelona, everybody's like, oh, that original contract almost bankrupt Barcelona, blah, blah, blah. But 50% pay cut, Grumpy. Leo Messi.
As we talked about last week or Sunday, he was not going anywhere. Barcelona allegedly lost $1.8 billion this last year with COVID. The money just isn't there. But he was never leaving the cozy confines of the Camp Nou. That's for certain. But it's hard for me to feel sorry for him taking that pay cut. I mean, $1 million a month. I mean, that's only a little bit more than what I make a month. So, I just have a hard time feeling too bad about him. I'm sure hopefully he has not been a moron with his money. I know he had the issues with the license, the imaging license stuff. He got fined big time in Spain. But if he even has half a brain, he's got plenty of money.
Yeah, well, for certain he does, Grumpy. I mean, just take a look, see at that. I mean, like, man, oh man, he's got a hell of a contract coming his way over the next 5 years, £60 million. I think he can make that work. That being said, not really a shock that he signed back there with Barcelona. Was kind of shocked a little bit about the actual price. And here's the thing, right? Now that you got him signing there for as little as he did, you'd like to think that Barcelona is going to make a push in an effort to go ahead and put more pieces around him. I know Memphis Depay's there. I know Sergio Aguero. But you'd like to think that they're going to make a real push to start adding pieces around Messi, right? Messi is no spring chicken. He's only got a finite window left to still perform at his, magisterial levels.
They've been trying to do that for years, and the guys they brought in haven't worked together. And that's why you've seen the downfall of Barcelona, because Messi's nowhere near as good as he was 5 years ago, not even close.
Oh, you're going to anger some people with that one, Grump.
Well, he's not as good a player as he was 5 years ago. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that.
He still performs.
Yeah, but as he goes, Barcelona goes. And he hasn't been as good, not even close, not even remotely close.
Grump, if you're thinking to yourself how close Messi is to where he used to be 5 years ago, Grump, during his peak, where would you rate them?
75%.
75%.
Which is still damn good. But he can't carry Barcelona anymore. Those are just facts. And you see where they're nowhere near the team they were in 2015, the last time that they won Champions League, and they won a treble that year. I mean, gosh, when was the last time? They haven't won the league in 3 years.
Well, look at the midfield. I mean, okay, 2015. I mean, I think Xavi was still there. I think Iniesta was still killing it there. Busquets. You had the midfield was outstanding there. And again, like, you look at the back line, outstanding as well.
All those guys
teams are really good.
All those guys came up through the system at Barcelona, and after they became really good, they just rode those guys, which means whoever else knew you're bringing in the system, they don't have a shot to play. You have to disperse them somewhere else. So your your junior levels are hurt that way. And then they started trying to sign. They tried to do the Real Madrid thing, which is sign the Galactico signings, big names, and it hasn't worked out for them. It very rarely does, honestly. Now, it's worked with Real Madrid on a number of occasions, but that's not something that's worked out for Barcelona usually.
Oh, man, I tell you. It's funny you pose that, right? Those huge signings that teams make very rarely work out, right? I can think of a few at Barcelona, right? Philippe Coutinho signing really didn't work out all that well. The Antoine Griezmann signing for Barcelona hasn't worked out all that well. The Ousmane Dembele signing for Barcelona really hasn't worked out all that well. I've noticed a few trends. Again, those are all guys who, play more of an attacking style there. They're either, attacking forwards or, attacking mids, and they really haven't panned out too much. And those are big signings that Barca was really counting and banking on that really haven't panned out. You kind of wonder what's the next move. I mean, Guerrero, and they're going to have the Memphis Depay, but you kind of wonder, hey, what are you going to do there? I mean, Messi's window is so finite. What's the latch ditch effort?
Okay, Memphis Depay, to me, he doesn't move the needle at all. And all those other guys, they had to subjugate their game to Lord Leo, right? And that's
Lord Leo, hey Grumpy, Lord Leo.
That's right, because as he goes, the rest of the team goes, right? So whatever he says goes. It wasn't like that in Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo altered his game, changed positions when he couldn't do the magical things he used to be able to do. They turned him into a striker, and he's still the most lethal goal scorer on the planet at 36 years old. There's no comparison between these two players, just to let you know.
Oh,
none. Absolutely none. Cristiano Ronaldo is a million miles better than Lionel Messi.
That could be a
There
whole.
is no comparison.
That could be a
Lionel Messi is not physically capable of doing some of the things that Cristiano Ronaldo can do.
That could
he's
be
just not capable of it. Can't do it.
I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna jump in, Grump. That could be a whole conversation and debates for itself. I just wonder, what are the other moves? Because I don't think Barca is going to stop there. I know they've made a few moves here this offseason. I don't think they're going to put a halt on it and stop what's going on. I still think they need to do a few extra moves.
You're right. But you're right. What happened? They lost their midfield, right? Their defensive backs got old. And, letting Neymar go was a huge loss because he worked extremely well with Messi, he and Suarez up there. Suarez aged out. He moves to Atletico. All of a sudden, he can score again.
You say
Lord Leo.
Okay, you say Suarez aged out. I don't think he aged out, Grumpy. I mean, Suarez still played a hell of a season for Atletico this year.
But that's why they let him go out of Barca. That's why they let him go to Atletico because he couldn't play. He didn't fit with Leo anymore, with Lord Leo.
Lord Leo.
I mean, here's the thing. When you have a guy who's going to control everything, you have to have the players that kind of work in conjunction, and they haven't found that mix yet.
And
sometimes you have to get guys who are a little bit older. You can't pick a bunch of young guys.
Okay. Thanks, Grumpy. And you talk about, hey, how things have changed there. Hey, Messi controls thing in there in Barcelona. At Real Madrid, Ronaldo had to go ahead and curtail his game and change his game there to fit the system there. Got some comments. I know I alluded to it earlier. Florentino Perez, president, got some comments here, Grumpy. Now, you say these are all already released. I don't know, Grump. These are more leaked audio. This is more leaked audio. Maybe he said similar things like this, just based off of the handfuls of pieces of audio. It seems like this is probably not the first time he's made comments like this, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo in 2012. This is all leaked audio. This guy's an idiot, a sick man. I think they said imbecile in one of the places I was looking to transfer it, or where they translate it. This guy's an idiot, a sick man. You think this guy is normal? He's not normal. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing all the things he does.
Yeah, like score goals. These are all audio tapes from 2006, just to let you know.
Okay. These are not, this is 2012, so that's not accurate. This is from 2012. This was published and this was recorded in 2012. So I know you said, stop. Listen. I know you said already some of these were already done. Oh, these were released a while ago. They're also mixed in with some newer comments, Grump.
Okay. So what does it tell you? I mean, he's already Perez has already admitted that he doesn't really identify with the players.
He considers himself better than the players. Whatever. All I can say is nobody pays to see you, Florentino Perez. They pay to see the players.
Yeah. And again, so I've got an overarching question. I want to go ahead and hit you with a few of these comments. I will have you obviously react, Grump, as you always do. But I've got some overarching questions about it. Hard to say about, possibly the greatest of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Hard to say that. Also, he said, Mourinho is an idiot. It's not that he doesn't want to play. Well, he's a bit abnormal. That said, he's been overwhelmed by the pressure here now.
Well, all I know is he led them for the first time in eons to a La Liga title. All I know is all these everybody's an idiot. They're all abnormal. I don't know. Usually when everyone's a moron and everybody's abnormal, I think it's probably the guy who's saying the comments.
Yeah. And now he's speaking here about Iker Casillas. Now, this is that's an older one from 2006. He's not a Real Madrid goalkeeper. What can I say? He never has been. He has been our biggest mistake. The problem is everyone loves him. I don't know. He has so many people on his side. But anyway, he's one of the biggest frauds.
He was really good in his day, Iker Casillas. That's all. He was the top goalie in the world for a long time. Like I said, I don't even care. What does it matter?
Okay, Grump, I want you to listen to a few more, and then I'll get to why it matters. What part of, Grump, I'm going to impose you a few questions that we're not picking up on, Grump. Come on now, Grump.
Okay, next. What's the next?
Goodness gracious. Now, this is on Raul, another club legend here, saying he's a negative guy. He's destroying Madrid in his morale of the players so that people say it's Madrid we're playing badly. No, it's Raul. It's terrible. What a bad kid he is. He's not going to play for Madrid anymore. I'm sorry.
Sounds like a fan. Sounds like a fanboy to me.
It sounds like a fan. I got this one that thinks that I think this one's kind of funny. Talking about Sergio Ramos. This was, he said in 2021, he embarrassed me on his presentation when I first signed him. He couldn't hold the microphone correctly. Well, this was that. I don't know if that's making jest of it. Either way, I think it's funny. Here is my question, overarching question, Grumpy. Well, the reason I was building a case there as you interrupted was this. Is there any way in hell Perez can still keep his job? The results at Real Madrid have been subpar the last few years. Zidane left, and doesn't shock me at all why. They're looking to go ahead. I mean, Varane looks like he's on his way out the door too. You lost Sergio Ramos. You can't expect the better results. I mean, when you're going to be losing two central pieces back there, your back line, you're going to be losing there your manager. I don't expect them to pick up where they left off last year.
He just got reelected president this year, so he's not going anywhere. Was the guy who's oversaw the renovations at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Woo!
So, well, you know what? It's about making money. I mean, these are voted on by the people, and there's no one who challenges him for the presidency.
Here's the thing. You can't be ripping club legends and ripping Cristiano Ronaldo and ripping every goddamn club legend there is and expect to still be there. I'd be shocked if they don't have him hanging upside down dead in Town Square. You can't be ripping the club icons like that.
You're looking at comments from 15, 20 years ago.
I'm looking at comments from guess what? He's making comments all the damn time.
Well, you know what? But here's the thing. These are private conversations he had, and somebody was audio taping private conversations. Are you trying to tell me that you've never said anything that you shouldn't have in a private conversation?
I for certain, but here's the main thing. The freaking team hasn't performed as of late. That's the biggest damn thing, right?
They haven't performed.
You haven't been able to find a way to replace them, and now you lose the two main central pieces of your back line. I mean, like Mendy, that trial didn't work out all that well. There's a whole bunch of issues there. How many more bad signings are they going to have in a row? I'm sorry. Real just hasn't been what they need to be.
They haven't. They signed Eden Hazard 3 years ago, who was a bust, and we to try to fill Cristiano's shoes. I don't know why, because they're nowhere near the same type of player. He's been a total flop. But other than that, they haven't really signed anyone else the last 3 years. I mean, since Cristiano left. That was the biggest thing. Cristiano wanted to leave. And the biggest mistake was they could have signed Mbappe that offseason, but they didn't because it would upset the salary structure.
Hey, Mbappe, come over here and play for Real Madrid. Yeah, our club president will talk shit about you behind your back. Come on, come on over here to Real Madrid. You think that's
okay? Those comments, you know what? And who knows in what context those comments were made. Once again, that you can cherry pick. I'm not saying they're flattering comments, but you don't know the other side of the conversation. We don't know. That's what happens when you cherry pick certain things. And that's the guy. I wish Joe Aquilino, I think maybe his name is. He was the guy. He was leaking those. And why are they being leaked now? A lot of people in Madrid seem to think that's as retribution for the European Super League that he was trying to put together last year.
Why would they wait until now?
Because it makes them look bad when they're trying to re-sign players in the offseason.
Why just think the timing. Why would not launch that as soon as the offseason hit? The transfer window's been open.
Yeah, but nobody signed. No, it's not until June. The end of June is when the contracts expire. And no one was signing until after the Euros and Copa America. No one was signing.
Okay, that's
now you're going to see people start signing.
Okay, you could sign beforehand. That's why Sergio Aguero signed a month ago. Memphis Depay signed weeks ago. The transfer window's been open. Transfer window's been open for a while. I'm not buying that. Hey, they're trying to sabotage. Maybe it's got some sort of underlying reason. I don't think that's the main cause there for it. I mean, that being said, it's really tough to say, yeah, it's a good pitch. What's going on with this guy? What's going on with Perez, our president? You know, trash talking and shit talking, the greatest of all time there in Cristiano Ronaldo. What's going on with that?
I don't think it matters anything. It's 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, regardless, like I said, you can cherry pick comments. Nobody knows what led to him saying that or what came after it. Nobody knows. I mean, no one knows. That's why.
Gotcha. Glad you've come on here with. I'm not taking anything, but nobody knows, so we shouldn't rush to comment.
Well, you don't. Okay, I said they weren't flattering, but you asked me if it's going to cost him his job. The answer is no.
Okay. It's not going to cost him his job. You said, hey, what other types of movements did Real Madrid have? They also brought in Eder Miltiahu, who's rode the bench, for essentially 2-3 years since he was originally brought in. I can't remember where he was brought in. I remember from a
started last year when Ramos got hurt. He will be starting next year.
Okay. So that's my thing. A benchy. He was a bench guy. He wasn't in the starting lineup when everybody was healthy. He was a bench guy. So what did he cost? Another $60 million? I mean, they brought in Mendy, who's played well. I mean, he's transitioned, but again, a guy who's left something to be desired. I don't know. They just
he plays defense. I mean, they paid $50 million for him 2 years ago. I mean, and Militiao, okay, he had two of the top 5 center backs in the world playing in front of him in Varane and Ramos. I mean, it just is what it is. But guess what? He's going to have to earn his paycheck now. But that's what happens. You try to sign guys where they're younger, when they're a little bit less expensive, so that they can grow into the role. Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. They're the biggest club in the world.
I'm gonna hit on the same point I hit on earlier. You've got two of the top 5 center backs in all of football. They're going to probably be leaving your club. Ramos is gone, and Varane is being heavily linked there to Man City and Man United. He's probably all but gone as well. How do you think they're going to play next year, losing those two pieces and losing the manager? I'm going to say they're probably going to drop off in performance. And you got this coming on there with Perez, and I don't know what's going to happen in the transfer window going on. I'm saying I think his presidency is a little more at risk than what you think.
I don't think the presidency is at risk at all. They brought in Ancelotti as the coach this year. I have no problem with him coming back. They're transitioning away from the Zinedine Zidane era. Okay. One thing I thought Zidane was an excellent guy dealing with the players. Not an X's and O's guy, though. Absolutely not. But he could get guys to play for him. A tremendous motivator. But he loved playing those veterans at the expense of the younger players. So they've been losing the younger players who were starring somewhere else because he refused to bench older guys. That's going to change this year. And that's a good thing for Real.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see here. Eli also said, saw a question here somewhere. If you could inject Gary Bettman with True Serum and ask him 3 questions, what would it be?
Ooh, jeez. Wow. Leave it. I'm going to have to think on that a little bit. I wasn't ready for that question.
Oh, grumpy.
Well, what about you? Do you have any answers? No. You could just go, oh, grumpy, but you never come up with any answers.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to give answers. I'm going to give questions. These are the questions I would ask.
Okay. What are the questions?
What is the rationale and reasoning behind paying your athletes the least percentage based off of money revenue generated, compared to all the major sports?
He doesn't have any. He has nothing to do with that.
Grump, they don't lobby. I know it's between the Players Association and the owners. Grump, but you do not think he's one of the integral pieces there that lobby that type of information?
But they don't generate anywhere near the money that the other sports do. Not even close.
Percentage based, I think they have the least payout.
But they don't get any. The TV money is practically nothing. I mean, you look at how much money the NFL has and how much their TV money is. And you think those players are paid more based on the revenues that are brought in? No, they're not.
Okay. I got to look it up again. What can I say? I got to look it up again. But I think they were the least. Last time I looked at the left.
Well, guess what? When you have a smaller piece of the pie, it doesn't matter what the percentage is. You're not going to get a whole lot more.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
that's your question. Mine is, how do you like getting booed at every Stanley Cup final? Does that make you feel good? Do you feel like you take on the heel persona when you go into these stadiums? I would think he'd revel in it at this point in time.
Yeah, perhaps. Alexander was saying that pay cut from Messi was crazy. Now, Grumpy, we were going to try to Alexander, he brought it up. Said, guys, I apologize for going off topic, but did you see the comment Stephen A said about Ohtani? We're not going to hit too much on this one. We're just going to briefly glaze over it there. I think it's been covered a lot on social media. You can't say stuff like that, first off. Second off, I think he was off on the comments. He had an issue that Shohei Ohtani, he thought that he's not a great ambassador for the game because he's got an interpreter and doesn't speak clean English. And all I've got to say is look at Ichiro. Ichiro used to be a great ambassador for the game of baseball. Didn't necessarily speak the cleanest English.
Ichiro did speak great English. He just wouldn't speak English to the English press. But he knew how to speak English very, very well.
Okay, well, maybe that's why. I say when I think about Ichiro, I don't think of too many interviews there he had or anything like that. He always struck me as a very quiet guy.
Okay, was Ichiro an icon?
I would say yes.
Okay,
you don't think Ichiro's an icon?
Maybe to the Japanese people, not the Americans.
Oh shit! Everybody knows who Ichiro Suzuki is.
Knowing who somebody is does not make you an icon. Would you say Mike Trout as an icon?
Yes. Okay.
I think you do you ever hear him do interviews? Name a baseball player.
Mike Trout's on a freaking Wheaties box, He's the guy on the Wheaties box. He just got that big old smile. It looks like he's, a Nebraska guy eating corn out there by the husk. His neck is so thick.
I think he's from New Jersey. But that said, do you ever hear him talk? Name a baseball player who's transcended the game.
Transcended the game?
Yeah.
Derek Jeter? I don't know. Everybody knows who Derek Jeter is. I'm trying to think who's transcended the game. I don't think there's many people who've transcended the game of baseball.
Well, there used to be a lot of guys like that. Barry Bonds transcended the game. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Fernando Valenzuela back in 1981. Babe Ruth. Those are guys who transcend the game.
Okay. You mentioned a few guys there in the Royd era when baseball was still kind of humming along. Baseball's dropped off a lot, man. It has.
Well, that's not the reason is not the players. It's what baseball has done to marginalize itself as a sport.
Dun, 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 dun. Thank you, Grumpy. You hit on some magical words because we have something else to share here today. Well, let me put it to you like this, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Manfred coming out there with a few items that they're considering getting rid of. They're considering banning the shift, eliminating the 7-inning doubleheaders, and removing the runner on second extra inning rules.
Okay. Banning the shift is stupid.
We'll talk about that in depth. Because I feel like we're gonna trash the shit out of that. Now, eliminating 7-inning doubleheaders and removing the run on the second extra inning rules, Grump. I assume you're for those.
Yeah, because how many doubleheaders are there anymore? The only reason there were so many doubleheaders last year was because of COVID. So that there used to be doubleheaders all the time in the major leagues, but when the major leagues made the strike zone about this big and let the guys take 4 hours between pitches, That's what elongated the games, which makes double headers, almost impossible to play nowadays. Removing the runner from second base in the extra innings, that was a stupid rule to begin with. I hated it. It's not part of the game.
No. Okay. Yeah. So them putting the runner on second was a dumb rule. You kind of confused me with the verbiage used. But yeah, I agree. I thought that rule was so freaking dumb. And I'm glad they're getting rid of those two items. Banning the shift, Grump. I'll let you take it. I'm going to sit back here, Grump. Go ahead and take on banning the shift real quick.
You know how you make the shift and you know how you ban the shift is by having the hitters hit the other way. Instead of being so headstrong and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, you know what? Too bad. Learn how to hit the other way. Learn how to become a well-rounded baseball player. Maybe you should give that a shot. Whoever, Joe, Major League Baseball player, just because defenses have figured out, well, shit, this guy doesn't do anything but pull a ball and uppercut everything. We're just going to put everybody over there. You know how you do it? I saw guys bunt down the third base line, left-handed batters. And you know what? They get on base every single time. It's about people getting on base. It shouldn't be about home run, strikeout, walk. Banning the shift is dumb. It's dumb.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that stupid, idiotic ban the NBA had when they banned slam dunks. Remember that? Where you couldn't dunk the basketball anymore? It reminds me of something that freaking dumb.
That was in college basketball back in the early 70s.
Sorry, college basketball. It's like them banning the ability to slam dunk in the early 70s. Like, you have got to be kidding me. Here's my thing. It'd also be like saying, hey, we really struggle pass blocking. Certain teams really struggle pass blocking. And because some of these defensive ends are really good pass rushers and are really tough to block. So we're just going to go ahead and ban the ability to rush the passer.
Or we give them the 5 Mississippi rule, where we got to count to 5 Mississippi before we're allowed to rush the passer. Maybe we should do that.
And again, it hasn't been approved, but that has to be one of the dumbest things ever added to this list. Hey, let's ban the shift. Hit it the other freaking way.
I mean, you don't have to hit into the shift. That's what the whole game is about. Pitchers throwing the ball so that they put the ball in play where they want them to put it. That's part of the game.
Yeah,
that's so idiotic. It's like rewarding incompetence, which I'm not for.
Exactly. If somebody has a deficiency in their game, well, we're going to go ahead and shadow them a little bit because we're going to go ahead and protect them a little bit because it helps the flow of game. Maybe things should be cool when we go ahead and ban the shift. Maybe it's going to be better if you just have individuals hit to the other side, hit the other way.
Yeah, that's all they have to do.
Alexander also saying Lord Leo Komarov instead of Lord Messi. Oh, my goodness. And he also said there, the comments that you're reading regarding Perez sound like Grumpy talking about Josh Bailey and Leo Komarov and how bad they are. Yeah, you sound like a freaking fan, just as you said.
I don't know which comments he's talking about.
Comments about Perez.
Perez. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to lose my job on the Islanders Never Say Die podcast over it.
Yeah, oh goodness gracious.
That said, I'm also not the president of the team. If those guys were on my team, they'd be gone. If I'm making those comments, I'm moving those guys out.
Yes. Eli also said that Stephen A's comments don't make sense. If you watched any of the All-Star game, the entire crowd loved Ohtani. I'm about to say what he's doing this year is special. It's one of those things where even though I'm a huge Mets homer and I'm a huge fan of DeGrom and I want him to win every type of award he can because I think he's going to make a claim there for the Hall of Fame, I would love to see Ohtani continue at this pace. It's unbelievable.
Best all-around player. I don't think you say anything but that, right?
He's going to be one of those players that get remembered as a legend and an icon just because you're never going to see a player who does as well as he does by playing both positions. You just don't see that.
He's going to have to be really good for a little while longer.
This season.
The first year he's been healthy. It's the first year he's been healthy, whole year.
This season will be remembered for years to come. And I'm telling you, you will always remember Shohei Ohtani as a guy who is outstanding playing both, as a pitcher as well as a batter. I mean, that's one of those things you don't see that. It's not something you come across all the time. It'd be like someone throwing underhand 1,000,000 miles an hour. You don't see it. Something you're not used to.
Okay. I'm just saying one season kind of gets overlooked, unless it's McGuire and Sosa in 94. It just captivated everything. I don't think that Ohtani's at that level yet. I don't think baseball's near as popular as it was back then.
Absolutely. Alexander said the Mets have the most doubleheaders so far this year. They have like 15.
Yeah, they played some teams. I think Philadelphia had COVID when they were playing them. I know they had some rainouts. Those things happen. That's a lot of doubleheaders. So.
Alexander also disagrees on a shift. He says, sorry, guys, I'm going to have to disagree with you on a shift. It takes the fun out of the game.
Like I said, you know what? Adjust. Make an adjustment at the plate. That's what being amazing. I mean, you're the best of the best players. Go the other way with the ball. If you can't do that, I'm sorry. That's a weakness in your game if you can't make that adjustment.
Aaron G also said, I hate most of the rules, but I think the shift will stay around.
Shift should stay around. That's a defensive strategy. That's all it is. It's just a defensive strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Alexander said, Stephen A's comments were taken out of proportion. I know you think a little bit like that, Grumpy. I
don't. Yeah, I mean, if that's his opinion, that's his opinion. I don't care.
Fair enough there. Fair enough, Grump. Also, the DH needs to come to the NL full time. Yeah,
100% agreement there.
I do agree with that for certain. Grump, you said you had a little topic you wanted to bring up today on Curtis Marsh, if I got that right.
Yep. Curtis Marsh played for the New England Patriots when my boy Tom Brady was starting quarterback there. And what year was it?
2017.
Okay, 2017. And he said that, no one had any fun there. And like they didn't even have lunch. They didn't even get like a half an hour for lunch. He'd have to eat his food walking in between meetings. And you're seeing a lot of people come out ripping the Patriots. Ted Johnson, former player of the Patriots, has come out and ripped the team recently about how it was no fun playing there. And who was the offensive tackle for the Eagles who ripped them and said, they don't have any fun there? One of their offensive tackles after 2017, I forget his last name.
Don't. Grump, you know the Patriots and you followed Tom Brady fanatically. You should know all this stuff, Grump.
I forget the Philadelphia Eagle offensive tackle. Whatever. Hamless slab of beef, faceless slab of beef that they put at the outside tackle position. He said, at least we have fun here. And, it's interesting that all of a sudden people are complaining about the Patriot way, where when Tom Brady was the quarterback, he kept everybody in line by taking less money. Now you're hearing Stephon Gilmore, I need to get paid what I deserve to get paid. You have Dante Hightower. Well, since 2012, as an inside-outside linebacker combo, I have the most quarterback pressures. And then he puts the list of all the other guys, and then, you see the salaries also. So he feels that he should not have to take a pay cut from his $11.5 million, which is too much for him at this stage of his career. But, no one used to complain about their salaries when Brady was there. Because why? Because no one could make as much as Brady. And when they were winning all the time, because winning cures a lot of this, it was all because of Brady. All of it. Every single bit of it was because of Tom Brady, because players win games, not coaches. You want to know how I know? Last year, with the same roster that Tom Brady went 12-4 with, they went 7-9. And he goes to a team that was 7-9, the same roster. The only thing different was the quarterback, and they win a freaking Super Bowl.
Don't downplay it. They added Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski to that lineup, which really helped beef. And hold on, stop. As well as Leonard Fournette. They added Tristan Wirfs, which is a big plus there on the offensive line. They made a lot of good decisions. And again, they had a lot of defensive pieces. Jordan Whitehead came in and really flew around there for the Bucs. Don't go ahead and make it so simplistic, Grump. I'm saying he was definitely a part of that. For certain he was. But they added more. It wasn't the same exact lineup.
Okay. They lost O.J. Howard. So he and Gronkowski are a wash. O.J. Howard, certainly at this stage of his career, is much more athletic than Rob Gronkowski. Antonio Brown caught 45 passes last year. Okay. Tristan Wirfs was a draft pick. Jerome Whitehead was with that team.
Not Jerome. Hold on. It's Jordan Whitehead, first off. And second off, Grumpy Old Man. I know he's been there for a few years, but he came in as the second year of the league, and he really stepped forward. Here's another thing, though. Okay. Gronk. I take Gronk over O.J. Howard, even at this diminished stage of his career. Antonio Brown was a number 3 receiver. How many freaking receptions would you expect him to have? 100? Are you trying to tell me Antonio Brown as a number 3 wide receiver is not fantastic? Any team in the NFL would take Antonio Brown as a number 3 wideout?
He only
yes, please.
He only played 8 games.
Okay, he had 45 catches in 8 games.
And Leonard Fournette was a backup all year.
He was a backup all year. He still rushed for over 700 yards.
He was a backup all year. Ronald Jones was the starter till he got COVID the last couple games. He was almost cut. In week 14, they were going to cut him. And Arian said to him, you need to make a decision if you want to play on this team or not, whatever your role is.
It was not 700 yards, just 367, not 700 yards rushing. Again, I thought Leonard Fournette was a good complimentary piece. Here's the thing, that Ronald Jones is not the end-all be-all.
They went from 7 wins to 15 and a Super Bowl championship. You talk to the players, man, Tom Brady taught us how to win. He sets himself apart. You talk about a guy who's a freaking icon.
I'm not arguing saying it's not, but Jesus fucking Christ, Grump, you ever going to stop with it?
I'm just saying. Like when they say, well, Bill Belichick's the reason why they're winning. No, because under Bill, without Tom Brady, he went 7-9 with the same offensive crew that he won 12 games with the year before. Same offensive grouping, same one.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? You go on such a freaking goddamn, you get your panties in a wad and go on such a damn tirade, Grump. It's impossible for me to respond because you go all over the place and list a million different things. I don't even know where to start. I will leave it here at this. Alexander said, Grump, look at the 08 Patriots, 11-5. Without Brady, Matt Castle is their quarterback.
That's right. The year before they were 16-0. So that's a 5-game drop. 16-0, 18-1. They lost in the Super Bowl. Brady gets hurt in game 1. They go 11-5. With the team that went undefeated the year before. Proof's in the pudding. Thank you, Alexander, for proving my point. Thank you. And they missed the playoffs that year. You want to know who's never missed the playoffs? That's right. My man, Tom Brady.
My man, Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Come on.
I don't know. You make it to 13
I'm not shitting on it, but your freaking love for him drives me freaking apeshit.
I'm just quoting you facts.
Oh.
I'm just quoting you facts.
Jesus Christ. You make them hard to root for because you are the way you are, Grumpy.
I'm just quoting facts.
There you go. Thanks, Alexander. Brady missed the playoffs in 2002.
That's right. He did the year after they won Super Bowl. I was going to bring it up, but thank you, Alexander. I know your hatred for Tom Brady has no bounds. And if you got to go back to 2002, well, okay, that's 20 years ago.
Hey, Alexander's a huge historian of football that he knew that off the top of his head that Tom Brady missed the playoffs in 2002. That's not true. He dislikes Tom Brady.
That's true.
Anyway, Grumpy. I don't even think we're talking about. We were talking about the comments. Here's the thing, right? Anytime you leave, it's not fun. But when you're winning, it's easy to stay quiet about things. When you're not winning, not easy to stay quiet about things. When you're losing and life is miserable, you want to leave. It makes things worse. But hey, if you're winning, at least it makes it an easier pill to swallow.
Without a doubt, particularly in that system, because it's all football all the time. Yeah. But when you have buy-in from the best player in the league, everybody kind of falls in line. That's all I was trying to say. Same thing would have been in the case if Peyton Manning was there, where he's the unquestioned best player on the team, and if he buys in, everybody falls in line. And you have to have that. If you're going to have that type of regime, you have to have total buy-in from your quarterback, who's really, really good. No excuses. Last year, all I heard was excuses from the Patriots and Bill Belichick. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Man, we've derailed this conversation and talking.
Bill Belichick turns into a freaking excuse machine because he can't win a game. I can't wait. I can't absolutely wait until the Patriots get the shit kicked out of them against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you listen to who's going to get the most cheers. They better hope Cam Newton's not playing quarterback from New England. Yeah. They better hope. He's going to get booed right off the field, right off the planet.
Aaron G. also said the NFL is all about the money, not football.
Well, that's true.
That is also true. But Grump, man, What else do you have to say? Any other comments here before we wrap things up today? Remember, we're going to be going live this Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as well. So make sure you tune in. The best place to find us there is YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And again, make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook there, and follow on Twitter. But Grump, what do you have to say before we wrap things up here today?
So push the like button. Is that correct?
Yeah, and push that subscribe button. That's right, Grumpy. But what do you got to say before we wrap things up, my friend?
Love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Absolutely, guys. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Again, it means the world that you are tuning in to myself and the Grumpy Old Man, talking sports, talking about the things we like, talk about controversial issues, him and I duking it out as we always do. But thank you guys there for tuning in. Wood Films, what's up? What he said, hey guys, still with you. Been sobbing for a while. Love you guys. Can't wait for the new doors to open on the barn, the new bar doors. Absolutely.
Wood, make sure you listen on Saturday.
Absolutely, guys. And that's the Islanders Never Said That podcast. But Grump, thanks again for tuning in. Thank you so much, guys, here for watching the show. We'll be live again next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you.